Here's how to make a quick salsa out of some of the vegetables you have. I got some sort of hard green tomatoes that were large and I cored them. Then I have some smaller green tomatoes that aren't quite as hard, so I didn't bother coring them. And I have a jalapeno pepper that kind of shriveled up and turned red, and then some cherry tomatoes. And I put them all in a parchment-lined sheet pan, and I'm going to stick them in the oven at 350 for about 2 hours or so. I'm not going to use any oil. Here they are done. Here's my jalapeno pepper that got kind of dried and firm, and I'm just going to take everything and put it in the blender, all of my tomatoes. I'm going to put the pepper aside, and I'm not going to chop these up or anything. The tomatoes are nice and soft, and they all just go right in there together. No prep required. You can also do this with the knife. You can just cut them up. It works just fine if you don't have a blender. I'm going to take the jalapeno and I'm just going to cut its little stem end off, and then there it is. It goes in the blender too, or it could get chopped up. And then I'm going to take 1 lemon, and whenever I'm going to use even a little bit of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, I always go ahead and zest the whole lemon first. And zest keeps really well in the freezer, so you can have a little container or a bag in the freezer. And whenever you zest a lemon, you can just put the new zest into that same container, and then whenever you need to use it, it's right there. You can just use a little or a lot. So even if I'm just going to use a little wedge of a lemon, I always zest the whole lemon and make sure that I hang on to the zest. It adds so much flavor and so much zing to all kinds of things: soups, salsas, desserts, beverages, you name it. It's definitely something worth using. So there's the zest, and for me, I'm going to use it in this salsa because I really like that flavor, that citrusy flavor, but you can just leave it out if you're not into that. I'm cutting the lemon, not all the way through on the sheet pan so I don't dull my knife, but I'm going to take half of the lemon and put that juice in. And you don't have to put lemon juice in here if you don't have a lemon. You could just add a little bit of vinegar, or you could put a little bit of oil in there, or a small amount of water, or nothing at all. You could just go with the vegetables. And this is a ½ teaspoon of salt. You don't have to put this in if you're avoiding salt. You could put in black pepper if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to put the lid on the blender, and I'm going to start real slow. And I just think that works better. I just start to get the vegetables broken up a little bit, the larger ones. And then after that's happening, then I turn up the speed on the blender. And you can leave this pretty chunky. You don't have to blend it a lot. But for me today, I am going to blend it into more of a puree. That's just what I feel like doing today with these vegetables. So I'm going to put it all the way up on high, get it blended before I taste it. And then I'm just going to grab a clean spoon and take a little taste. And I think it tastes really good, but I'm going to add about 4 sorrel leaves. They also have sort of a tart, acidic flavor. And I'm going to put them in there on low and just let them start to get broken up. But then I am going to turn the blender on high and puree them in really, really well, because they actually change the color of the salsa if they get pureed. That green with the red makes a kind of a dark burnt sienna color if you get them mixed up and blended up really, really well. And I'm going for kind of a darker salsa today. So they're all blended up and you can't even see little bits of them in there anymore. Now I'm going to get a clean spoon and taste it again. And I think that is exactly what I want. So I'll get a bowl that I can put in the fridge, a bowl with a lid. And this is a very, very fresh salsa, so you could eat it right away, right now, while it's still warm. And it's really delicious. You could put it over some meal that you've prepared. Or you can go ahead and put it in the fridge, but you do want to use it within a day or two. And there it is. Just took you a couple minutes. It has everything you want and nothing you don't want.